computer. Okay. Emily, thank you so much for being here. Guys, this is Emily Robinson. She's a triple diamond with the company, and I'm so honored to have her here to speak with us. She's on the VIP page with me as triple and above, and I saw her post the other day, and I've talked to a couple of you and shared her story with you already. And some of you already know how the things that she's gone through and the things she's overcome. That's why I titled the Zoom Breakthrough, because I feel like just her sharing about herself, sharing her story. I gave her some questions that some of you guys gave me. But Emily, do whatever you want and talk about whatever you want. And anything that you can say, like for someone who's even brand new, for someone who's been in this a little while and is working on huge promotions and life changes, like that will be so powerful. And thank you so much again for being here.
Oh my gosh. Hello, guys. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for asking me. It's funny because I wasn't going to post that for like a long time in VIP, and I really prayed about it. I just felt like, well, obviously that's the space where we can do that. That's what it's there for. But I just felt like God was really calling me to say that somebody needed to hear it. So yeah, I'm super excited. Well, I'll just start a little bit with my story. My name is Emily Robinson, and I live in central Midwest. I'm in Illinois. So think like cornfields and more livestock than people. That's where I live. Hi. I've been in the business now for almost 5 years. I started in March 2016. And I was a hairstylist. I was working pretty much full time, kind of weird hours though. Like when you're starting out, well, in the hair industry in general, you kind of just have to be available and work when your clients aren't working. So a lot of kind of second shift, more like things. I had a great clientele. I loved what I did. I had the great, like one of the best salons I've ever worked at. But at that time, we had 2 kids under 2. My husband was a correctional officer, and we thought we had the American dream, right? Like we had finally had really good jobs. I know we were both happy at our jobs. He had great benefits, all the things that we are told that bring security, right? Well, we quickly realized though, especially with his job, you start out the low man on the totem pole, and same with us. Like I had to earn my way up. I had to work my way up, learning, increasing my skills as a stylist. And I love the hair industry still. The beauty industry is something I'm still super passionate about. And I admire that industry. I admire the trades because just like entrepreneurs, hairstylists are entrepreneurs. Like you are literally building yourself from the ground up. Everyone starts off with not knowing how to cut hair and not having anybody in their chair. Even Paul Mitchell, right? Like he had to build his way up. So same with entrepreneurs. And I love it so much. Oh my gosh, you're way too nice, dude. This is a lot of dry shampoo. So thank you. Anyway, I think for me, I really waited and watched for a long time. This is actually my 4th network marketing company. So I'm not necessarily like new to the industry. I wasn't necessarily successful at the other ones either for many reasons, but I really watched for about 7 months. I literally had the privilege of watching. Claire Flores is one of my ambassadors. Katie Rogers is my enroller. She will be going press here very soon. I'm under Alyssa Wilbur as well. So Alyssa Marie is the most amazing. I'm very blessed with my lineage. And I think that's one thing I want you guys to know too. Just know that you are on the best team. You are here for a reason, and you were whoever you saw that attracted you to this team of Courtney's. Keep watching. You are here, and you are part of the best, and just know and be proud of your family and your team. I think for me was watching her, I needed to know that this company was really as good as she kept saying it was. Like what's different about this one? It's just another one, right? Like for me, I needed to know that Mark and Cindy were really as nice as they said they were. Like I needed to know that the compensation plan was real. I needed to see her be successful for me to be successful with it. So after watching for 7 months and she went triple, like it was just insane to watch her literally starting out with a bunch of young kids in full-time hair. Her husband was full-time working outside the home too. Like I needed to see someone else live it and do it. And she did. And so for me, that's when I said yes. And I jumped in March 2016. But I want to let y'all know something too. I literally hit her up on every HSN post. I jumped in her inbox, and guess what your girl did? I ghosted. That was me. Hi, I'm that one that's still on your follow-up list that you are so sick of messaging. Don't stop because I'm telling you right now, it's so important to be consistent. And whether or not you think they are or not, they're watching. They want to see that you're consistent. They want to see that you're going to stick with this. I don't care. And I think it's really cool now too. I've got some friends that are ambassadors and been in 6, 7+ years that have people saying, I've been watching you for 5 years and I've never jumped in your inbox. Do not think for 1 second people aren't watching you. So anyway, there's a little bit of my story. I don't know if you want me just to like roll on or if you wanted to do this more interview style. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, no, I would love to be more interview style. Hold on, let me pull up the questions too. Okay, first
You're
of
all good.
all, I love that. I didn't even know you were in 4 other companies because I was in 2 previous companies, but I didn't have leadership. Just like you were saying, like I didn't have that leadership. I actually enrolled with 2 other companies and like that was it. I was enrolled and that was like, okay, here you go, have fun. I had like one in-person party for one of them. Thanks, my mom's on here. Thank you for buying from me. But besides that, I was not successful either. And then when I started this, I actually saw my enroller posting about the cleanse and Melissa posted about the cleanse and I bought it. And then an hour later, I saw her posting about like traveling or something. And I was like, wait, you work from your phone doing this cleanse? Like what is that? And that's how I joined. You were a ghosted person. I was an on the spot
Love it.
enrollment. Yeah. So it was crazy, like 2 different stories, but similar backgrounds, right? Like I had a great job. Like we were living the dream as it looks. I had my MBA. I was getting my MBA. Like I had my student loan debt. I had my corporate career. Like all the things
Mhm.
that you thought I'd be successful and happy, and I just wasn't. I wanted more. I didn't know at the time that I wanted this business to be that more. Like I
Right.
just know I needed something else. So I went all in.
Well, and I love that you said that because I heard you. I was like on the tail end of your last one too, and you said it too. Like, there's somebody right now praying for the answer that they don't know you have because they haven't heard you say it yet. They know something is missing, right? Like you just said, you just hit the nail on the head. And for us, we didn't realize we thought we had the American dream, but like we didn't realize what we were sacrificing was that time. We were sick of asking permission to do our life. So like I just feel like that totally echoes too. I
Yeah,
love that. Sorry.
100%. Because no, for real, that's exactly what it was for me. That I love to travel, and now we're full time traveling in our motorhomes, and that wasn't even a goal for mine. My goal was to be able to pay for vacations for those 5 vacations I could take a year. Like
Yeah,
no one
girl.
told me, hey, you can actually quit your job, be an entrepreneur, and travel full time. Like
Yeah,
then you'll be fulfilled. Like no, that wasn't even a thing. So now my path, like I thought my why was traveling. Now
yeah.
my why is to help other people realize that they can dream bigger. Like
Yes,
that's like
girl.
it became that over 4 years. You know what I mean? Like being with this company.
Absolutely.
And like you said, are Mark and Cindy really that great? And then realizing, oh wait, yeah, they are.
They
Like
are
that,
incredible. Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
company really is as good as they say it is. The money is just as real as they say it is. And it's actually even more than you ever thought possible. Like it really is from God. Like it's truly anointed. You could not be a part of a better business
And
ever.
I wasn't even close to my faith when I started this because I actually like associated my faith with my father, who's a recovering, well, not recover, whatever he is. So he would always try to force us to go to church because like in recovery, addiction and stuff like that. So for me, church was always associated with something that I didn't want to do because
Ooh,
of my
that's
dad.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I became a part of this company, I feel like it was a step in the right direction. God's timing is perfect because now look at me, like Brett and I are, he's right here, by the way, my fiance, but we're like going through things together and he's going to church with me now. And a year ago, he would never
Awesome.
have done that. Like,
I
it's
love
just,
that.
yeah, it's very powerful, guys. So this is like, you're in the right place, just like Emily was saying, which I love that.
Absolutely.
So the first question that I definitely want to touch on, because a lot of people ask this, what kept you going through like dark times that you've had in your life, in your business?
It's funny. So I'm a green blue, like a walking bruise is what I talk about. I've actually really become a rainbow over the time, but it doesn't matter at my core. I'm always like that first green blue. So overcomplicating. So I've learned just to literally, I write down what my first response was. And I literally wrote down, truly, I live like my faith. And like I said, no matter what you believe, it doesn't matter. You are here and you can know that with this company being ran by faith, with your leaders having faith, you know that it's ran with integrity and you can trust their decisions. You can trust the direction of this company. For me, faith is everything. I've had a very traumatic life, but I'm learning to not talk about that anymore. And that's something actually that's new that I'm entering to in this season of I'm literally releasing the chaos and embracing peace. I am literally paying a therapist to teach me how to do this because I've been hardwired from childhood to live in chaos. Like I'm to the point that I'm almost creating it on my own now, and not even as like traumatic as it was. But I'm telling y'all, therapy is the best thing you could ever invest in besides this business. I'm telling you right now, it's the best thing I've done. But honestly, it's my faith and my why. Um, you know, when I was running for Triple, we were promoting to Triple. My grandparents still lived with us at the time, and we were caregiving for them in house. Yes, Tim was home, but we weren't living that amazing full-time family life. Like we've never really had, we've always been caregiving and taking care of people. My grandparents both are living in they're in their 80s. They were, if you've ever caregived or you're familiar with that, they're either doing really, really well or they're like polar opposite. Like you need 100% hands-on. I also had 3 kids under the age of 5 at the time and 1 on the way. We're crazy. It's fine. So I really thrive best under pressure. I always have. And it was funny because even though these were dark and hard and busy times, I feel like the business almost became what my normal was. Like it was the constant, it was the steady, because it's that simple. You guys, I don't care if you're a distributor that started 2 hours ago, or if you are presidential ambassador, triple, whatever is beside your name in eSuite, I don't care. The business doesn't change what you do every day. It doesn't. You might lead more. You might have more coaching calls booked. You might be speaking to people's lives more. You might need to be doing a lot more self-development than you are right now. But the 6 list, that simple KPI, whatever that task list looks like, doesn't change, period. It just doesn't. You just have more responsibility when the higher ranks come. So for me, I found this as a solace. I found it as a steady, and I found it fun. It was almost like where, I mean, at the salon, we used to talk about how, you know, it was really nice because when I came to work, I was just Emily the stylist. You know, I didn't have to be mom, caregiver, cook, chef, blah, blah, blah. You name our list, right? You name the list of things that we pick up in a day. And it was nice to do that. So for me, knowing that this was my piece, but also knowing that it was bigger than me. You know, Cami, I love it when she says we all start this for selfish reasons, usually money, whatever, time, but we stay for selfless ones. And I started realizing more quickly that it wasn't about me. And when things are tough and I'm exhausted, or we've been through lots of different dark seasons in our life, actually in the last 5 years of being in the company, and I have to remember that I prayed for this. God gave me this business because I asked for it, because he called me to this. This is a calling. Well, no matter what you want to do, whether you want to continue working with this business while you work, or you want it to just be a stepping stone for you in the season of life, or you want this to become a full-time thing, or you want to continue to work. I don't care what that looks like for you. Whatever your whys or whatever you feel like, know that God called you here for a reason. And it's a platform to get you to move forward in his plan for your life. So for me, I couldn't not finish my task for the day, knowing that there was another mom or whatever woman somewhere in my timeline, in my feed somewhere, that literally was praying for an answer that they didn't know I had, because I hadn't connected with them yet. And whatever that does, if it doesn't pull on your heart, I'm gonna whoop you. I'm playing, but like, think about it that way. Like it is bigger than you. And the thing is, once you switch your goals and dreams, knowing that it's more lives you can change in the process, then like you can't not work this business.
Yeah, and that's huge, because we were just talking about that in our last Zoom, that a lot of people on the Zoom right now came from TikTok. And I was posting 3 videos a day, like even if I didn't want to do it, you know what I mean? Even if I didn't wake up that day saying I'm going to make 3 TikToks, like wasn't excited about it, but just like you just said, I knew that someone needed to see that. And 2 girls just spoke last Zoom that said like they were just laying there, like they needed more out of their life, and they came across my TikTok. Like that's why we do it, right? That's why we do our task list. That's right there.
Absolutely. When I feel like TikTok, I feel like if you guys can, and being a green, like it's a beauty, because I overcomplicated things so much in the beginning that I wound up finding a system that now I don't have to think. And when I say that is like I found like a flow conversation. I also found a workflow that I don't want to say it's mindless for me at all, but I'm in such a routine and a groove with it that it's not hard. It's not time consuming, and it's fun. And now I can work adding on another platform. All it took me was getting over my fear of making myself look silly. Because guess what? It's not any different than stuff you were already doing on other things. It really wasn't. I love TikTok. I'm totally like busted into that. And at the end of the day, people, I'm going to get on my soapbox about TikTok for a hot second. People are literally doing like poop choir, like duets. Do not overthink. Do not overthink the TikTok. People don't care what you look like on TikTok. They want to see you. They want to hear your voice. They want to see you being funny. Like, I literally was like, ran across it one day. I'm like, oh, what? Okay, cool. Apparently you don't have to be serious on TikTok. You just get to be you.
I literally just made my TikTok tonight was Brett coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen your face. It was about him pooping. I'm not kidding. So you guys go look at my TikTok. It literally says when he comes out of pooping, like,
oh my God.
Yeah. So we did not plan that.
It's so funny. Well, it's funny because I avoided TikTok. Okay, here's the deal, you guys. Like you always say those $1 million like moments you should have had or whatever. Tim tried to get me on TikTok 18 months to 2 years before the company ever jumped on board with it. And I fought him on it because I thought TikTok was just like a reason for him to be in the bathroom for 45 minutes for no reason. Like, true confession, we had the most amazing marriage, really do, but I literally hated TikTok for that reason. It's why I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. He's like, babe, entrepreneurs are all over this. I'm like, really? Because I want to hear you doing really ridiculous stuff on videos. So I have no interest in TikTok.
Yeah, like a year ago, my cousin started on TikTok and now she has like 1 million follower following. And she kept telling like, oh yeah, this is the platform. I'm like, it's for kids. It's for kids.
I know.
Now look,
I
guys.
know.
So get on it if you have not gone on it. Okay. Like
I'm telling you,
that's
it's
the
best thing.
message
It's so
here.
much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Yeah.
And I also loved how like you said that you stopped focusing on like the chaos so much and you started concentrating on peace. And I really feel that's super important for a lot of people on here because where your focus is, that's where your energy will go, right?
Absolutely.
Like, your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you start concentrating, like get a therapist, I highly recommend that too.
100%.
Afford it, get a therapist. You need, everyone needs one. But if you start concentrating more on, instead of negative energy, you start looking at positive things. If that's the same thing with gratitude, right? Gratitude every morning. I'm grateful for what? That helps you look at positive things. So many people from growing up, limiting beliefs, like they're just so accustomed to feeling sorry for themselves, throwing a pity party. Like I know when you first start this business, that's something that a lot of people have to overcome. Do you have like a piece? I know this isn't a question I asked, but like, do you have a piece of advice to that person who's still like in that negative space and they don't know how to come out of it?
For sure. Well, I'm going to kind of give another little, I guess, metaphor where you steer, you stare. That's the right term, whatever, a little saying. And that's one thing I had to really, it's kind of, you know, we coach this stuff all the time. As your leaders, we are literally coaching and pouring into you all the time. And then it's kind of humbling when you realize you need to take a dose of your own medicine, just like as a parent. Like there's so many times I've been correcting my 7-year-old lately, bless her of her loving soul. And then the spirit like will whisper to me like, oh, I've been trying to tell you that for like 3 years. I'm like, oh, cool. I think the biggest thing I want to ask you, if you are in that space, are you happy where you are? Are you content? Are you happy? So in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, if you were exactly the same way you are right now in your life, your finances, your peace, your home. I mean, it's not all about things, the impact you're making. Are you making an impact outside of your home and your community, whatever that looks like for you? If it was the same as it is today in 6 months, a year, 2 years, like I said, would you be happy? If not, then it's time for you to lean in. Like, it's not going to be easy necessarily. It's not going to be, it's not, it's like do self-development. It's not fun. No, because it really is. But I'm telling you, you have to be geared up for the hard work. At the end of the day, if you say you want Emerald and get that $5,000 bonus and you want Diamond to unlock the entire compensation plan, and then you want to look at the rest of that income disclosure statement and you see, oh, what? Like, it's real. I can tell you the money is real. But at the end of the day, if you aren't willing to lean in to become that person and hold yourself to the standard that you are now holding your team to, then it's not going to last and it's not going to be there. So I guess if you are in a stuck season and you're negative and you're in this really crappy mindset, do you want to stay like that? If your daughter or spouse or someone that you really, really care about came to you with some of the thoughts that you're telling yourself, the way you speak to yourself, or maybe even like whatever is going on in your mind, I don't know if you're alone or whatever is going on, but like if somebody that you cared about came to you and said that they were thinking that or feeling that, would you correct them? Would you stop them in their tracks and grab them, hold their face and say, like to my daughter, we had this moment the other day, I'm like, baby girl, don't you ever talk down on yourself like that. Like you made a mistake. Like she's 7, she's having some issues with reading, just this legitimate things. And in her world, it is a mountaintop, right? So I treat these moments like huge summits so that when we are facing real adult like summits that, she knows that I'm here for and we're going to work through them no matter what. Like I held her face and I just felt like it was a God moment because we're praying that God will end. There's generational curses we have already broken and that we are ending right now because of God calling us to this. And my word for the year is commit for 2021. And I love that you're calling it breakthrough. When I got your little image in Messenger, because we are fasting right now and praying for a breakthrough in several different areas of our life. And we really kind of prayed in like, what is the root of this, right? Like you might see the surface level emotion and negative and whatever. Like Cami even says, sit in that moment, put your hand on your diaphragm, take a deep breath, and just follow that fear, follow the negative emotion. There's a root deep in there, you guys. And whether you pay for therapy or if you get free therapy through your insurance, I don't care what it looks like for you, doing something that will help heal and restore. And if there's something you can't fix on your own through self-development, then get that professional help. It's important. It's very important. And I'm the first person to tell you I'm doing it right now, and it's the best thing I've ever invested in. And I plan on having a therapist the rest of my life. Like I love her.
I feel like everyone definitely needs one. That's our big piece of advice tonight, guys. Go get a therapist.
Get a therapist.
But for real, so how you just talked to your daughter, it goes with the next questions of like, how do you keep your team motivated and how do you see your team through those times? Like how you just were talking about your daughter. I feel like it's almost the same thing.
Absolutely. You're going to be mad at my response. Like I told you, I like writing down my first responses because I know that's not from me. Like I really pray whenever I sit down to prepare for these things that God will speak through me. I literally heard 3 words when I wrote that, and it's not my job. Keeping you motivated isn't my job. Keeping you inspired isn't my job. I partnered with you. I'm going to talk to you like you're my teammate. I partnered with you because you told me you wanted X, Y, Z, right? Fill in the blank with your dream. My job is to love you so much and to call you higher. And because I love you, I'm going to call you higher, and I'm going to hold you to higher standards that you say you want to hit that goal, that dream, that income, that impact level. Then this is where you need to be. And your job is, you as leaders or you as a distributor, I don't care if you have someone under you yet or not, the only person you can ever motivate and inspire is yourself. Set the bar, set the pace where you want your team to run. I had one of my team members who is chartered for Ruby and has been for quite a while come to me and give me kind of like a sob story. Like I love her dearly and I will coach. I'm here for anyone on my team always, but she gave me a sob story, and everything she listed out was exactly what she had been doing, like what she was accusing or complaining of her team doing or not doing for the last 6 months was exactly what I had seen her do. And I asked her, I'm like, are you holding yourself to a standard that you're expecting your team to go to? And I only said that to her because it's been said to me, okay? At the end of the day, if your dream and your why isn't enough to get your butt up and motivate yourself and work your own business, why are you here? And I mean that with so much love. I do not want anyone bouncing after this by any means. I'm not saying that, but I think you have to have a really hard look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Talk to your significant other, talk to your kids, whoever, you're doing this for beside yourself, and really just look in the mirror and be like, why am I doing this? Why am I still here? Why do I want this? And at the end of the day, I have done Zooms. I have consistently done parties back in the day when we could, even for one person. When we were running to Diamond, I hosted, it was February on the way back from conference, we hosted 9 parties in the month of February, whatever was left. And that's what took us because I just was consistent. I mean, there was literally me and 2 of my team members and my husband in that room, and I paid for a sitter. Like we put so much quote unquote money, it wasn't a ton, but we invested back in our business that month, and it was the most exponential return we've ever received. So at the end of the day, it's not my job to motivate you. It's my job to motivate myself. And if you aren't consistent yet, let today be your last day one. I literally also wrote down consistency. Be consistent from this point forward. And your team will model what you do. The people you bring in will model what you do, but only at a smaller percentage. So if you are hit or miss with your business, maybe every other day, every 3 days, your team ain't doing nothing. I think there's like an actual percentage is like your team will do maybe 10 to 30% of what you do in a day. Now, I'm not saying you need to be beating your head under the table all day at all. Like I think one thing that I'm really grateful for, I was at a retreat in Arizona in December with Alyssa and some of the other people from Elite Legacy that had earned it. It was a really cool weekend, and it was eye-opening because God had been like, I feel like even over the whole of 2020, just realigned our focus in general. Like I feel like everybody in the world just really knows what we want out of life now, right? And I feel like my values are in line. If your values are in line, you're not living on your phone. You shouldn't be doing this business 8 hours a day. If you are, you should be ambassador by the end of March. I'm not kidding you guys. Like business doesn't take 8 hours a day. 4 hours of hard, consistent, amazing, intentional work can get you to where you want to be. And doing that consistently day in and day out, taking your Sabbath, having your values in line, Mine are my God, my marriage, my kids, and then my business and everything else comes last. But I still honor it. Now, I don't not work my business, don't mean that in any way, shape, or form, but I will not sacrifice my marriage to go presidential. The last memory I want my kids to have is, I think it was Pam. She's like, if you have kids, where's their eye level when they come up to say, mommy, mommy, mommy? Just a minute. Like, I don't want this to be their memory of childhood. Don't get me wrong, they're going to see my work ethic all day long. But I also want to make sure that the reason why I'm doing this doesn't become the sacrifice for doing it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And also, like you just said, it's not our job to motivate people, right? They have to want it for themselves. Like the same reason that you show up every day for your business, like your marriage, your family, like everything you have right now that you're working so hard for, and you're going presidential. I know it's happening. I feel it. It's happening. So like all these things, that's your why, but it's not that your team's why. So they need to find their own reason. It's your job to inspire them that it can be done.
And I still love on my team hard. Like I have a specific chat with my diamonds and above. We honestly probably talk every day, but like I intentionally reach out to them individually, weekly. After our little team huddle, I wind up doing just a real quick 15-minute. At the most, I like it to go half hour. I honor and value people's time, you guys, and I have my own too. My evenings are really sacred for my husband. So like, adding anything in the evening is super special. But I feel like, letting them know I love them and I'm there for them. But also when I started showing a priority for my values, I saw things just kind of almost fall into a groove with my team too. They're showing up, they're working their business that works for them because everyone has different work schedules, but everything was flowing and it was amazing too. We actually had a kind of a crazy season this late last fall. And I actually did, I did not take a step back by any means in my business, but it rocked me to the point that I could just like, day by day, I could breathe and get through the day, if that makes any sense. And it was cool because it felt like it almost allowed my leaders to rise up even more. Like we had an amazing relationship. We have a great organization, but it was really cool to watch them grow through that and to know that I could really trust my core four that were there, that could keep, the building moving, I guess, or the train moving forward and keep everything together as, I could really breathe through my days, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it's release of control, which is something that I feel like someone who's gone through like trauma in your past, I feel like that's hard for us to be able to release control, but when we do, it's in the hands of God, and then it's like he does wonders.
Oh my God, release control is exactly what my therapist said. Did you like email her?
No. Yeah, we talked before this.
Oh my God, she's amazing, isn't she?
No, that's what mine says too. But basically, that's something that I've worked through. So it's really great to hear you say that because that's something that it's on my board of like, I am patient. I am an amazing leader. Like I empower my leaders. I empower my team. So something for this. Yeah, something for this year for my dream board for sure. Okay, I know we're 30 minutes in. I just wanted to end with these two things. Sierra asked in the chat if you've been doing everything you need to do, but your team still doesn't do what they need to do. Like, what if that's happening?
Okay. I always will tell you to always throw up, never down. Get a hold of your closest leader, diamond leader, preferably. I don't know how you have things set up. If you need to jump into Courtney's inbox, do that. But have a heart to heart. If you feel like you're outgrowing where you're currently at, but your leaders aren't rising to, there might be some restructuring conversations that need to happen, but that's definitely a one-on-one with your leaders, not me. But I think at the end of the day, when you also asked me another thing, and it kind of actually goes into some of the notes that I took of like if someone's feeling stuck or feels like that. All right, everyone, put your pencils down. If you don't have your cameras on, get them on. The blue is strong with this one. Look in the camera, and I really want you to sit hands open, and I want you to really think about this. Do you want this? No, I don't mean like, do you want the rank? I mean, do you want this business to be something that you actually can pass on to your family? Do you want to make an impact so that at your deathbed, you can literally say, I have nothing left to give. I literally gave it all. Like I poured everything out. I have no regrets. Do you really want this business to work for you? Yeah? I see some heads shaking. Then find the people that want it as bad as you do, not the people that you have to want it more for them than they want for themselves. And if that means some restructuring or keep building deep so people will rise up, get on your knees every single night and lay hands on your charts and pray that God will multiply by millions. Get on your knees during the day when you start having those moments. Stop looking at what they're not doing. Stop looking at eSuite reports. Stop being irritated because, well, they're not showing up. First of all, do you really know that they're not? Have you had that conversation with them? Talk to your upline, your enroller, your diamond and above to have that conversation. Get them on, try to get them close to the fire. Really kind of game plan that way. But at the end of the day, recruit the people that want this like you do. There's 52 cards in a deck and 4 aces. Do you have your 4? Did you have your 4 in last season when you were running for whatever promotion, but you need to maybe find a new 4? Is that deck all worn out? It's okay. There are people that are going to come into your business for different promotions and different seasons for different reasons. We are a people-based business. Same with hair. I always correlate it to hair. I mean, there was chair hoppers. There's people who retired. I had clientele pass away. I mean, I had people move because their husband's jobs were, you know, like things are going to happen. It's life. That's what happens when you have people in your life. At the end of the day, if you want this, don't focus on the people that don't want it. Find the people that do. Lock arms and get to work and run. Because I mean, I'm living proof that what I shared with Courtney, what I shared with VIPs, you guys, the team that took me almost every rank is not the team that took me to the next. And I'm not saying I completely rebuilt, but like there was all of a sudden this random 400 box that hadn't communicated with me in 3 or 4 months, asked me to go to coffee, and homegirl went diamond 3 months later. You know what I'm saying? Like you do not know, but at the end of the day, God knows, and people come into your business for different seasons and different reasons at different times. So at the end of the day, I get on my knees and I surrender it back to him, and I relinquish control. And I know that the God who made the universe can restructure a chart for me more quickly than I could sit there and plan and waste hours crunching numbers and going over. Know your chart, know your plan, talk to your enroller before again making any structural changes. Because I know I've been on those Zooms before and I'm like, I need to redo it. No, you don't, but talk to your people, but know that and have faith in that, and find the people that want this.
That's huge, because so Sierra is going Ruby. She's working on Ruby and going Emerald. She's going to get the bonus. And the same people that she's going to those ranks with are not going to be the same people when she's going presidential, triple, double.
Yeah.
I've seen that from experience. You've seen that from experience. So don't be so focused on that one person. Like she said, you cannot want someone's business more than them. They're never going to grow. They have to want it as bad as you want it. And if that's not them, just because they're in a box, it doesn't matter, guys. You can erase your chart if you're using pencil like you should be and just move people up.
It can almost be the most liberating thing to have to erase a chart. And I know at first it was scary. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I started this business when there were 5 people to go Ruby, not 3. Like I remember what it was like when my chart was like nauseating. Now I'm like, oh, this is a piece of cake.
And diamond, like that was crazy. Yeah.
The old diamond chart looks like the double chart now practically. Like it's like almost the same amount of boxes, just a little bit different order. But I think at the end of the day too, you have to, I had a really hard talk with one of my diamonds, and it was one of those things like I already knew what she actually wanted to say, but she kept telling me what she thought I wanted to hear. And it's not what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear what she actually wanted. And blessing and releasing is some of the most freeing things you could ever do. And I actually got that statement too from a friend of mine who's been in direct sales for 30 plus years. And she said, bless and release is something she had to learn early on in our industry too. But I think knowing that, again, you're here for such a time as this, you were created for it, act like it and move forward, and trust that, you know, it's going to happen when it's supposed to. And if you want it bad enough, it will happen. Just keep going.
I love that so much. Thank you so much. And then the last question, and we're going to end it, is we were talking about your like daily routine, and you were like, if you work in 8 hours a day, you should be going ambassador. So for you, I know this is different for everybody, right, guys? Everyone has different lives, different schedules. People work full time, but what are your key things, like for someone, if they're ready to go get that emerald bonus or go diamond, what should they be doing every day right now?
Sure. Well, and I actually have till 9. That comment about like only 30 minutes is for my team, because my team will talk. My team gets chatty. So, no. I didn't mean it like that. Like I only talk for 30 minutes. It totally wasn't. We're saying I have until 9 my time. So we have another 20 minutes. So you're all good. So sorry for that came across like that. You only have 30 minutes, Courtney. Get it together.
Oh, I'm going. Just kidding.
Not at all. Oh my gosh. Horrible. That would be like the worst Zoom person ever. I'd literally be like, oh, we lost connection. this company's so amazing, but she's a real stink pot.
That's
No,
the last time I asked someone in VIP to come on our Zoom. I'm just kidding.
right.
Just kidding.
No, oh my God, it's so horrible. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have to slide the chat over. I'm such like a fart in the wind. I can't not see the chat if I'm like, what? Okay. So I'm going to splatter back over again real quick. Okay. So you know what, you guys, I'm going to actually share a little bit about when I was working full time and both. Like when I think what's always simplified my life, because even though, I mean, I was working full time and yes, I'm home now working this business full time and not working outside the home and going back and forth. I have 4 kids under 7. We created our own circus. It's fine. But like I've always been working a lot, whether I was outside the home or not. I think realizing that you have the same 24 hours a day. So it's funny because when I first came home, and I don't know if you were ever like this either, but like I had just as much time I had almost a harder time structuring my time when I had all 24 hours to do on my own. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but it's hard sometimes to be self-disciplined and structure that. So it was almost easier for me to be intentional with my time for this business before. But I'll tell you, I wasn't a big user of social media then. So I kind of had to learn how to get consistent with that. Batching content, I realize now I didn't know that's what it was called then, but made a world of difference for me. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you some really tricks of the trade. You ready? When you do your hair and makeup, change your lipstick and earrings multiple times and throw on 14 different shirts and get into different angles of your house. I'm not kidding you guys. When I batch content, it was so funny with selfies. I finally, okay, I'm Dribble Diamond. I'm in this business almost 5 years and I just got a ring light. Don't judge me. It's up right now. You can see it. I'm so excited. I literally had like my daughter's, I'm so ghetto and cheap. I had my daughter's lamp with like a linen towel over it. You don't have to be fancy. No one knew what it was, but it gave me a good light. Find something that works for you, batch your content. So I had 2 days off. So I would, really kind of plan posts for the guy, create different albums on my phone we didn't have stories in, but like different post pictures, right? Like I still do the same thing now. Like I'll batch content, you guys. If I find some great story slides, or I tell you, Pinterest is amazing. I'm learning I'm not as fancy with it, but I know how to copy the right cat. I found people in my organization and in my upline that I knew where I wanted to be. And I learned to just copy the right cat. So I created collections on Facebook. If you don't know how to save posts on Facebook, the little 3 dots in the upper right hand corner, you click on that and save it. You literally can create little folders. Think of it like creating little email folders. So I would find posts that I liked that other people did, and I would wait at least 24 hours and I would probably reuse it. Maybe change the format a little bit, change the image, screenshot the image so it wouldn't have the same code necessarily as far as the algorithm goes, but stop overthinking and stopping. Like there are so many ways to copy the right cat. Even right now as VIP, like I would catch myself because I'm not the most savvy, and I know the people that are really great at social, and so I'm like, wow, my stuff looks like I literally just made that story in 1998 Windows Paint app or whatever it was, and this person just sat down with over and made this most gorgeous thing. So there's a great app like Reshare Story. It's free. You can literally download people's stories from that, or Pinterest has hundreds of free stories. I think preparing my content in advance and knowing I don't have to share about all 40 of our products. What are the products I want to use? I'm really loud and proud about coffee. Now the gummies, because they're legit the most delicious things I think I've ever had this year. They are so good. I think just deciding what I wanted to share about and be consistent about. And from the beginning, I did that. I had a million children at the point, 3 kids in 3 years. So the wraps that came in my kit, I shared my process in that as they were coming out, as I did my results every morning, actually, and that got me huge volume. So I think in the beginning, I just used those pockets of time that I had. I didn't have solid hours. Well, I probably did now looking back, being like, oh my God, I had so much time that I wasted when the kids were at daycare. It's whatever. But finding your pockets of time, 15 minutes, set a timer on your phone, put your phone on Do Not Disturb and go respond to messages. Tell people, hey, I'll get back to you after I get off work or at the latest tomorrow morning, and then stick to your word. Look at your schedule for the week. I use a monthly daily from Day Designer. I literally write out even now, and I did this back in the day too. Literally look at your planner. When do you want to work? When do you not? When do you want to have white space? When are you taking your 24-hour Sabbath? I'm so dang serious, you guys. My favorite thing in the to-do is put that phone somewhere and breathe for a second. Let my mind clear and just fill my soul with rest. And then during my days, I literally block in when I want to work. When I have other projects, I have my list that I need to get done for my house. I have my list I need to get done for work, and I work my business then, and then I don't. And I guess what? I work my business first, and I fill my cup first before I help my team. And if that means getting up early, then that's what I do. So now I'm getting up early. I'm trying to get up between 5 and 6. It is not easy for me. I'm not early morning right now. So I'm trying to get up between 5 and 6. and I'm filling my cup first. I'm actually not even using my phone as an alarm. I'm using an alarm because I was catching myself almost like muscle memory. Messenger, Facebook, Instagram. Like all of a sudden, my thumb's like checking my email. I don't even check email. Like why? Like all of a sudden, I'm checking apps. Like it literally like my phone, my finger just does this thing. So 5 a.m. getting up, filling my cup first with stretching, workout, and self development. Nothing, and usually it's like playing a YouTube thing. I started self development not even knowing what it was, and I used YouTube because there's thousands of free videos and there's some really great channels to follow that are just, I would find myself getting stuck in my head, like my inner critic. She's a real piece of work. So if I can fill my head with other noise that's positive, that's what I did. So playing YouTube all the time, playing positive worship music while I fold laundry, um, finding those ways to fit things in again still today, but deciding when I work my business, I'm working my business intentionally, knocking my 6 list out. And then when I'm with working on stuff in my house, I'm being intentional with that too. Not every day always looks the same, especially this year. We all of a sudden we're in school full time and then we're e-learning and then it's different next week. And it was awful. Like my whole schedule and routine changed a lot this year. But I think the biggest thing is you actually can decide what your day looks like. So sitting down, getting a plan in place, scheduling it in when you work, and making it a non-negotiable. Even if that means, like I said, you're getting your messages out in the morning between 6 and 7, and then even if you have to put a line in there telling people, "I can't get back to you till tonight, but let's make sure we touch base at the latest tomorrow." People aren't living on their phones. Not everybody works in social media, and they don't expect you to.
Yeah, no, that's huge. So when I got laid off from my full-time job, and I was triple diamond when I got laid off, thankfully. And I decided in that moment, like, not to go back to corporate America because it did not make me fulfilled at all. Like, I just wanted to concentrate on my business. One of the big things for me was that in 2015, when I was laid off, because I was laid off twice in my 20s, in 2015, when I was laid off, I fell into like a 6 month depression where I was like sleeping until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I would go out to the bar every night. Like, I ate bad. I gained a lot of weight. Like, it was really, really like a low time for me in my life. And I knew I associated being laid off with that feeling. So when it
Right.
happened again, thankfully I had this community and thankfully I had the income, but I
Mhm.
was afraid of my own inner voice, like you were just saying.
Yes. Oh my
So
gosh. Yes.
I started therapy again. Like, that was a
Mhm.
huge thing for me. And my therapist said that you have to be intentional with your time. Just like
Mhm.
Emily was just saying, guys, like, you have to have a plan. When
Mhm.
when you do this full time, you have to make sure it's not just the business all the time and not your life, right? You can't go all in on this and not breathe and not sleep and not take Sabbath and all these things. And you can also not do the other way of not doing anything at all and then being depressed because you lost your income,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So the day designer planner was what I purchased.
Mhm.
And my therapist said that she wanted me to email her a sheet of what my day was going to look like for the
Yeah.
next for my ideal week, right? What it would look like, what I would do, would I work out, what would I eat, what would I
Yeah.
do, like what would I how when would I work my business, when would I be with my fiance, when would I do whatever, right? Have white space or
Yeah.
Sabbath. So if you guys don't have a plan in place right now, try to find those gaps like she was just saying. When I worked full time, I definitely had more of a structure. Like, that is
Absolutely.
for sure. Like you were saying, I utilize those 5 minutes like
Yeah.
that. I would send 100 messages in 5 minutes on the toilet.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, and I feel like I found out like my identity was getting caught up in, well, I gotta work. Well, I gotta work. Well, I gotta work. Well, like, ew, like if it went away tomorrow, which it's not going to, but
Mhm.
who are you? I'm not just a distributor at work school. It's what I do for a living. That's how I provide for my family, but that's not Emily. And I think another thing that actually I've kind of realized I was falling back into again and I'm starting to be better at is putting myself together for the day. I don't always beat my face like this every day, y'all. I don't, but I wanted to because I have been in such a slump that I needed to put myself together. So having outfits that I put on for the day doesn't always get crazy. I'm literally wearing leopards like sleep pants right now because it's the end of the day. But like I just have leggings on, t-shirt and a jean jacket today. Like, and you know what? I felt and Kim Kane, who I absolutely adore, said, when I feel like fire, when I look like fire, I feel like fire. So even if I don't want to, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get myself put together, because I also have to remember too, now I've got 3 girls who are starting to watch what I'm doing, and I want them, to see that mommy's loving what she's doing working from home, like, and I really do love what I do. And I'll tell you right now too, I also structure time outside of the house. It's very important for me, we are social creatures, period. I don't care how much of an introvert you are. So even if you can get out, a couple times a week and work at a coffee shop. So if working from home, if you feel like you can't get motivated in doing that, find a way to just be consistent. What are your priorities? What are those top 4 things that are your values right now? Schedule them in first. Have a 6 list, not just for your business in the day, but also for yourself. Does that look like working out? Does it look like making sure you're eating well? Does it look like, because how many times have you been working and you realize, oh, it's been 4.5 hours and I've only had skinny brew. No wonder I can't breathe right now because my heart rate's through the roof. Like taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority too, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And that includes taking care of yourself in every way. What does that 6 list look like? Is it giving yourself permission to put your phone down at 8:30 at night? Because guess what? Not everyone else works until 11 o'clock. Granted, there are seasons when you're going to bust your butt, but also knowing if I put that 4 to 6 hours in during the day, I don't need to always be doing it at night, and it's okay. Anyway, I feel like I'm getting on a rabbit trail.
No, you're like speaking to me now, because like I am like the most red person, and I get so all in on a goal that like it consumes me. So in the last 4 years, guys, one of the big things that I've learned, and honestly, I'm still probably learning. I'm still going. Brett just said that sounds like you. Still things I'm going through, like, is that I'll get so consumed in everything, and then I'll forget what I was doing. Right? Like I'm just like, oh crap, I never even showered today. Like that's like me to a T. So my advice, take this from Emily right now, right, is that you have to fill your cup, and when you feel the most confident when you do get ready, when you do shower, when you do take a breather, right, and step away from your phone. On that same note, a lot of people on this, I know there's a lot of leaders on my team that get so entangled in helping their team and they forget to work their own business. And I think that's a huge thing that we have to know. Like you gave a good advice with like setting the timer. Set a timer to work your own business.
I work my business first, and I check my team's messages. I'll look and see. I'll tell you right now, I have no push notifications on for Facebook, Instagram, or Messenger. I have no push notifications on for any of my platforms. And when I did, I had all my group chats muted because I love them. But holy cow, like who wants to be dinged to death? Like I actually am a major nerd. I studied music in college for a hot second before I dropped out, but I've always been very musically inclined. And so I know this might sound weird, but I actually have certain text tones on my phone for my husband, like my best friend, I have like certain things so that like, if I hear that, I know I'm going to answer. I actually don't even hear some of I've like trained my brain to not hear other tones because it's not a top priority. Like you can train yourself to prioritize what's important to you. And I think if you don't work your business first, you are going to get to that point by the end of the day where you realize, oh my God, I haven't sent messages. And here are leaders or anyone who's wanting to become a leader in this business. And this is from Brittany Landrum. She said, at any point, I want my team to know, not that they would, because it's kind of weird too, but like if my team would ask me if they could see my phone to see how many messages I've sent for the day, I could gladly hand it over and show them. But conviction, again, your team will do 10 to 30% of what you do in a day, period. So I feel like, I don't know, you have to decide now. And if I can get you a distributor to have that mindset and we can get you into that flow, into that value system, oh my gosh, you are going to go VIP and above this year. 100%.
Like you're the hardest worker on your team, period.
Always. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And most balanced and most focused and like you should always be setting the bar.
Like we said in the beginning, like it's not about motivating them, it's about inspiring them. So inspire them by like learning and doing it and showing them how you're doing it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, which is super humbling because I feel like some of my diamonds and above, obviously there are certain groups that you can be more, open with and vulnerable with, and also to trust your story and to know when to open up about that. But I was talking with some of my girls, and my OG girl, she's literally been with me since like 6 months in, and she said it's been really inspiring. I think the most inspiring has been seeing you grow as a leader, and it was one of my hardest seasons, you guys. Like, so when I felt like I wasn't the most presentable, for lack of a better term, or I didn't want to share, she actually said it was the most beautiful and inspiring to her to see that growth. So that's another thing about leaning into that season. It's painful, but it's worth it. And again, through that, it's bigger than you.
And you take a Sabbath, you said weekly.
Yeah. Okay. I just started doing that starting in like late November or like November, December. And it's been amazing. And I will be honest with you guys, it's not easy for me. There are times that I'm still like, I pick up my phone. And there's times I'm like, oh, well, I just won't look at my apps, or I just won't, I'll only have it on, and I'll just like message my family and friends to come back. Well, then next thing I know, I'm answering a HostBus message, or finally that customer who I've waited for 24 years to say they wanted to order HSN, at the end of the day, it's a control issue, but it's also like, I also have to think about it this way. It's like, I'm not allowing room for God to work. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to give you a little testament to Sabbath. Okay. December 17th is when I posted. I mean, I was posting TikTok ish consistently, but I hadn't really done anything with the business because I didn't know how. Like, I didn't know how do you do a TikTok for business? So I just wanted to do a giveaway. Our team always does cash giveaways, or I think we're doing a $500 Target gift card giveaway. And the drawing was going to be like the 20th. I think it was like the 20th of December, because we were trying to do it. We did two, like one in time for Christmas, right? So I didn't think twice about it. I may or may not have taken a little drink, and I threw my hair off to the side. I went to the Christmas tree and I did selfie mode, and I looked at the top tip, like one of the top viral songs is like that one that goes, "How bizarre." And so I literally just looked at my phone, like made my awkward faces, and then I'm like, "How bizarre." And then I put my, like, the words in saying, I'm doing a TikTok giveaway, or a giveaway, this much money, gift, or whatever, $500 gift card. Here's how to enter. Follow me on Instagram. You know, I give them this real simple instructions, 15 seconds. You can only put so much in there. So put that up. It was literally my diamonds and above were all here for our Christmas thing. One of my diamonds actually helped me do it because she had like blown up on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, it sounds like scary. I'm so nervous. So she helped me, call me higher. We did it. Okay. Instagram for me, I can maybe grow 300 to 500 followers a month. I mean, I add 150 a day, but consistently, like, it's never been my sole focus. Facebook's been my bread and butter. So I felt like stuck at, I went from 3,000 to 5,000 in the last year. That was huge, monumental growth for me. Okay. And that is a lot for me, but I literally, hold on, I'm a nerd. I also set alarms. Do you want to know how I get through my day? I set alarms for when to do what? That's my 5 minutes to my team Zoom alarm. I posted the video. So it directed them to add me on Instagram, which was in my bio, and to follow me and then DM me. So TikTok went to like 10, like went from like nothing to 10,000 views in just a couple hours. My Sabbath started. I usually go on Sabbath about 8:30, 9 o'clock Saturday night, and I don't get back on until the family call, but I also don't respond to any messages until Monday morning, because next thing you know, I'm messaging for 4 hours because my inbox is so full. So catch this. This is God, not me. What he can do with a few loaves and fishes. You guys, if you don't know that parable, he fed 5,000 people with just a handful, like some kid's Lunchable on the Sermon on the Mount. It was crazy. He literally, you guys, I added 1,000 followers Saturday night to Monday morning. There was 1,000 more followers on Instagram. By the end of the week, I had almost 2,000 more, and I have retained 1,500 of those. That's pretty good stats. I don't care if you're red, green, blue, yellow, what doesn't matter. Those are good stats. So I also have just prayed that God would blow open Instagram for me, and he did. So, and God's not a vending machine. I'm going to be very clear with that. Not for 1 second, but I'm telling you right now, he can do more with anything that you surrender back to him than what you can do like this. And I use this example. It's one of my favorite moments, I guess, that I learned from. I feel like I heard it in a sermon, but I want you guys to all do this too. I want you to ball your fists in the tightest fist possible. Like, not like I'm gonna take you out fist, but just like literally, like, get your hands all this crazy fist. Okay. If you're really fancy, you can do this, and congratulations, but I really want you to try to pick up a pen. Like, lay your pen down. Like, I want you to try to pick it up. It's not easy. I bet you I could, maybe. Like, I mean, if you do this, maybe, but I want you to literally just like grasp as tight as you can. Can you pick up that pen? You know, God's given you this business so far. I'm triple, right? I've been praying for Prez for like a bajillion years. It feels like I'm finally becoming that person that I need to be to become her. But you guys, if I'm holding on to my business like this, do you think I can pick up that next rank? Do you think I can accept and receive that $20,000 paycheck I'm praying for? Because no, why? I'm only sponsoring one kid through Children's Cup. I want to sponsor 5. I have 5 babies, 1 in heaven and 4 here. I want to sponsor 5 babies a month. But if I'm holding on to everything like this, how can I give and receive? If I'm literally like this, it actually will start hurting after a while, you guys. Like, you can't. This business is a gift, but it's something you need to steward financially, growing your network, all of it. Like, it's all a stewardship. So if you are grasping so tightly to it, and you're just focused on what you want and what you want to receive and what you want to do for your family, which is great. But if it's all tangible, physical, monetary things, and it's not on a greater generational curse breaking, impactful breaking, like, break down all the walls in my community, how much can I give? How much can I give? How much can I give? Because you can't take any of it with you. being smart and wise stewards of this business is the most important things you could ever do. So I'm going to cut myself off.
Yeah, no, and
If
that
you-
went into what the one of the leaders said. She was like, "How do I take a Sabbath if I don't feel like I work hard enough the rest of the week?" Like, that's what I got a question the other day, and I was like, "You have to surrender to God, right?" And you work. Josh Parker always says you
Right.
work 95% of the days, 6 days a week, and
John Alcala says, if you can't set your phone down at the end of the day because you're afraid your business is going to fall apart, then your business sucks. That tells me right now, if you can't take a Sabbath, then your business isn't built on a strong foundation. You're controlling too much, and maybe you aren't. If that's an issue, if you're not working your business hard enough during the week that you feel like you can't take a Sabbath, then that's an issue too. I work those 6 days. You know, I'm unapologetic. Cami says be unapologetic about the work you do those 6 days. I'm not saying work for an hour and ask God to multiply it times 10 because he is the God of wonders, and he is, don't get me wrong. But he's not a stinking vending machine. Like, I'm gonna bust my tail like it depends on me, and I'm gonna surrender it back to him because I know that it doesn't.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. That was a perfect ending. Thank you so much for being here. Have an awesome team Zoom. You're already like fired up, so you're ready to go.
They aren't even gonna be ready for this.
We're ready. Oh my God, I'm so ready.
Thank you for having me
guys.
so much, and I'm praying so many blessings over y'all.
Nice meeting you.
You too.